morning, Freedom Village. It is another wonderful Monday here for the Monday Morning Show. I am your host, Ashley. My counterpart, Noah, is not here today. She worked so hard over the weekend with the bazaar that we thought we'd let her sleep in this morning. We had such a busy week last week. We had our Halloween party. We had our annual bazaar, which was Friday and Saturday, and it was so great, and it took so much work from so many residents that we just want to say a big thank you to them. And hopefully all of you that worked the bazaar had a chance to relax yesterday on Sunday and get a little rest, catch up, because we are kicking in to a new month. Bazaar always kind of kicks off the holiday season at Freedom Village, and now it is November, and we've got a great week coming up for you. Today at 2:15, the village artists are heading to the Holland Area Arts Council to do a pet collage lesson with a local artist teaching. There's still room, and if you'd like to sign up please sign up in Touchtown. And on Wednesday, we have Tai Chi with Chris Campbell at 1:30 in the gym. This is always a nice, relaxing class, so please head on down to the gym if you're interested. At 2 o'clock in the atrium, we have musical reminiscing. This week, it'll feature Janice Sweats on piano and Noah Catton singing vocals. So it'll be a great sing-along you won't want to miss. 2 o'clock in the atrium on Wednesday. And on Thursday evening at 7:15 in the auditorium, we've got a wonderful program for you. The Big Band of Praise will be joining us. They are a Christian band dedicated to connecting with their listeners by presenting the love of God through song and testimony. Big Band of Praise is an 18-piece powerhouse group from Holland who perform big band, swing, jazz, and blues. You won't want to miss that one. 7:15 in the auditorium on Thursday. And Friday is a wonderful event. I think one of all of the staff's favorite events, and I think many of the residents as well. At 2 o'clock in the gym, we will be holding our annual Veterans Day program. And this is a chance to honor all of our residents and spouses and staff members who have served in the various branches of the military, and just thank them for their service and honor the sacrifice that they've made. 2 o'clock in the gym, you definitely won't want to miss this one. And then on Saturday, November 11th, there originally was an American Legion Band concert scheduled, which I know is always very popular. Unfortunately, the American Legion Band has canceled that show. And so please take that off your calendars, and we'll look forward to attending one of their future shows. And that is our week. We've got a nice, relaxing week, a few fun things to do, but kind of help us ease in now to the holiday season, as coming up here, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the busyness that goes along with it. So I would like to share something very special with you today. We have been toying with the idea with the Monday Morning Show of doing, expanding on our interviews that we've been doing and doing more of a documentary series. And so for the first documentary, we have chosen to do Susan Boersma, who's a longtime resident here at Freedom Village. Many of you know her, I'm sure. But she sat down with us and shared so many of her stories and photos, and we put them together in a way that we hope that will honor Susan and a way that you will enjoy. So let's take a look at part 1 of the Susan Boersma story.
When I'm with Susan, I always feel 100% comfortable and so happy to listen to stories and talk about songs and make music.
Hello, I'm Susan Boersma. The picture you are seeing reflects my childhood. I was born to musical parents who needed an accompanist. My mother was Dutch and my father was decidedly British, born in Kent and a tea drinker. He had a British ritual, very British. At meals, he sat at the end of the table and he took care of the tea. He would get up and carefully walking around the table, poured about a 1/4 inch in each cup for each person's cup. He did this 3 times, so each tea drinker had the same strength tea as everyone else. They met in Kalamazoo, where my mother's trio was performing. My father and friends went to the concert. The family story is that my father pointed my mother out to his friend and said, see that alto in the middle? I'm going to marry her. They courted by long distance, Kalamazoo to Grand Rapids, and they married. My parents taught me to harmonize, accompany, and to love music and to love ensemble pieces. They had me participate in the Grand Rapids Children's Bible Hour. I was 5. Not only did I sing, but I was chosen to do the sign-off, which is, send your letters to Aunt Bertha, Box 1, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I had wanted to play the harp, but my father discouraged me by saying it would take a truck to move that around. And then he encouraged me by pointing out that many homes and churches had pianos. I took piano lessons, and I still play. My father had a saw, a musical saw, as an instrument, which showed that he could find an instrument in every home. My life continued harmoniously, a blend of music and action, the rhythm of rowing, the thrill of a helicopter ride, and once I commandeered a piece of large farm equipment, but always with the enduring and universal qualities of music. Then Camp Geneva. I attended the camp as a child, and as a teen, young adult, I worked with the camp director, and I noticed the lifeguard. Jim. Jim and I were married and began our life of many people, many places, including Wisconsin, Massachusetts, Vermont, Ohio, and finally Michigan.
It is my pleasure to talk about Susan. Susan and I met in 1963, and I'm thinking that's 60 years ago. It was summer, it was Camp Geneva. We were both on staff there for the whole summer. Susan was in love with the lifeguard, Jim Boersma, and I was in love with Paul Sweats, who was living in Holland and doing construction that summer. So we had a lot in our hearts. And plus, we were very busy with Camp Geneva responsibilities. But interestingly, there was a director of music that summer named Dave Smits, and he directed Gene Mast and Susan and I in a trio, and we sang, and David played, and that summer we made a record for Camp Geneva, the first, the only record for Camp Geneva. And if you're fortunate, you can still find those around in old archives. And it's just way fun. It was a wonderful summer. Jim married Susan, I married Paul, and away we went in different locations. For many years, we were diligent about keeping in touch, at least at Christmas. And then there were so many moves that we lost touch. And then 2012, in the spring, Paul and I visited Holland because his mother lived here at the time, and I went with his sister to Christ Memorial Church for choir practice, just for fun. And what should happen but suddenly there, right before my eyes, was Susan saying, Janice, and I'm saying, Susan. So after 50 years, there we were together, and we hadn't seen each other for 50 years. A lot happened in that conversation. At the time, Susan and Jim were moving, and she told me they were moving to Freedom Village. And I said, Freedom Village? Why? That's for old people. Well. She told me why. And I said, wow, those are good reasons. And the next day, we visited Freedom Village. And lo and behold, by the end of the summer, both Susan and Jim and Paul and I had moved to Freedom Village. And here we are. Now we both live on the same hallway. So friendships have a way of lasting. And that's a beautiful thing. When I moved here, at Geneva, I was a singer. And Susan did not know that I played the piano privately. But when she found that out, she said, oh, come with me and we'll play four-hand duets. Since she had been a piano teacher for a number of years, she still had lots of music. And she started me on the simplest things. And I played the Pa-Pas, and nervously we played in the atrium. But mostly we practiced together. And that was so much fun. We would laugh, and we would joke, and we would clown, and we would keep playing, and we just made a point of practicing every week. So eventually those casual atrium events became an auditorium event, and we really worked hard, and I practiced a lot, and she encouraged a lot. Well, we encouraged each other. And now we're still encouraging each other. It is my pleasure, my delight to know Susan, to be part of her journey now, to know her faith, to know something of her vision, to know something of the complications, and to be her friend. It is my pleasure to know Susan.
I continued to write. If you are interested in the process, please tune in to the Monday show next week, and you'll see the birth of an anthem. Thank you.
It was so fun to learn more about Susan, and we can't wait to see what she has in store for us next week for the rest of her story. Well, that's been the Monday Morning Show. I'm Ashley, and we will see you next week.